Hey guys, Ken Perryman here. How many times have you went and got a Jeep? Probably one time, honestly, but maybe there's some people out there with a couple times. But you went and got a Jeep and it's brand new and you're like, I want to change some things on it. I'm a camper. I'm going to be overlanding. I'm going to be going and hitting the trails, going someplace where I can go some distance away from people, throw up a tent and just relax and chill and have a good time. If you're like me, I'm going to show you my first 10 mods that I did to this Jeep. They're not in any specific order and they're not in which I purchased or in which I think is the best or favorite. They're all my favorite, to be honest, but let's get right into it to number one. Number one is a safety feature, I believe. And let me show it to you. It's right here. You see it? No, of course you don't. It's in there. It is called the Auto Bureau. It is a great safety feature. It is my third brake light. Yes, I have one up here, but I also have the Jeep with the 35-inch tire package. That light is way up top and kind of behind the wheel. I think it works. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna tell you, that guy really works. I've done a few shots with it. Let me turn on the Jeep and show you what it looks like. Brake light on, off, on, off, right? So what I love about this thing is that it lets you know I'm stopping. You can tell by the lights on the outside, most people can see that, but this LED just goes over the top and says, I'm stopping. This is a great feature to add. It does fit all the way up into the 2025s. Interestingly enough, I actually had a company reach out to me and ask me to do this. And I told them I had a Rubicon. And I said, oh, it doesn't fit a Rubicon. Guess what it fits? A Rubicon. Okay, so on to number two. Number two is right in here. Actually, it's out here. This guy right over here. Not all this. This is a part of what I've added to it, but check this out. This is, as I turn my back to you, I apologize. This is the Lacar table, tailgate table Jeep. Now it does say to Wrangler 2023, this is the 2024, and it fits. Pay attention to the little spacers. You will get it wrong because they don't explain it very well with the instructions, but the spacers do make a difference on how you put those in there. Make sure you get the right size drill bit. You're gonna drill through and there's some paneling screw locators back in here where you can actually screw these bolts in and lock it in. It is a solid table. It'll hold a decent amount of weight. You can cook on the back of this. Basically what I like to use it for, because I have another table for cooking, is I like to put things on here as I'm transitioning from one place to another. It's also a great little workspace when you're doing things inside or around the Jeep. If you're doing minimal camping, you got this thing set up. This is your cooking table. But if you have another larger setup like I do, this could be a passive or a secondary table. It's number two, and that is really cool. All right, guys, number 3, 4, and 5, as we get to them, are all right here, and I'll show those to you independently. Number 3 is this guy right here. You can barely see it. A lot of people miss it. They don't notice it. So let me bring that up a little bit because it's hidden behind this lip. But this is the Hook Road JLU upper shelf. And you're like, what can you use it for? Check this out, this is cool. Now I've adorned it with some other cool additions for my camping stuff. These little molly bags, everything I'm talking about here, and even the added stuff, I'll put down in links. They are Amazon links, and they will earn me a little commission, but it will not change the price for you. All it does is just lets them know that it's coming through mine, and I might get a small commission. But this guy right here, you slide this back, you drop this down, and you gotta be careful. But then there you go. How much can you fit in there? So I've got some string lighting in these bags. Check out the size of this bag. Also, these will be down in the link too, so that you could probably get something just like these, but check it out. There is a ton of space. It is literally the length of this back. Now, it is tapered in the corners, so they push forward, but then you have this extra space on the shelf that you can lift up and cover. What I mean is you can literally let them hang out, so when you bring the lip up, see, it pretty much covers. And these still can go all the way back to the edge of the shelf. So you have a little bit of room in the front, which I actually take advantage of by putting some small, long things in that spot. But that shelf is almost invisible. I say almost. Every time I mention it, no one notices it until I actually mention it. And they're like, oh my God, that's super cool. Now, for a period of time, I actually have other items in here, but I had these pretty good sized bags in here. I had 6 across. I could fit all 6 in here. I've used them and taken some of them out because I'm putting sleeping bags and items in here that I don't need a bag for. So This is basically what I have currently inside this. You can take this, pop it up, pull this lever, turn it in, and lock it down. You don't need a whole lot of oomph to lock it in, but it is now a flat shelf and solid. It connects to your bars. Really cool setup. And not too crazy, but a great idea if you're into, like I said, trying to get the maximization of space out of your Jeep by camping and whatnot, and by adding shelves. So really cool setup there. That is number 3. Number 4. Number 4 is also back here, and it's actually just below the upper shelf. It's this lower middle shelf. It's Yahoo, E-A-H-A-O, I believe is the company's name. I actually used to have a steel shelf back here. It was a bit taller, had a bigger roll bar on top of it, really stout and heavy, but it was pure steel. What I liked about it, it was also magnetic, where I have a lot of magnetic items. I got all these hooks that I can use to put on the metal, and I used them on these, but this is aluminum. The nice thing about it being aluminum is it's also super light, so I'm losing some excess weight that I don't need. Now, but I do have this aluminum shelf. I did get this aluminum shelf to help add more storage to my Jeep. And as you can see here, as I'm setting up and getting ready for my camping, let me zoom out a little bit. Let's move the camera out a little bit. As you can see over here, I've got this middle shelf here, and had to search and find specific totes that would fit within this shelf placement here. You can't see it too much. Actually, you can right here. I'll show you a section of it. Let me take out one of my battery systems that I use for camping. I actually have put this in, and this is that gym garage workout foam mat. I've sliced this down to fit. I've used this to help keep these totes from sliding back and forth. I also have this porous surface that keeps things from sliding around, because as it stands right now, this aluminum shelf, most stuff, plastic, will slide easily. So now I've got this where it won't slide very easily at all. In fact, I've got to kind of force it. But check this out. I'm gonna move this out of the way, slide these over just a little bit to make sure I have enough space to fit one of these Plano boxes, right? This Plano box is one of my storages. I think this is my electrical kit. Yes. So if you can see in here, I've got some lights. I got another big light that goes in my tent. I've got all the power cords that I need to power up my battery, which is back there. I'll show that to you here in a second. Won't take too much time to show you the battery. Just gonna show you the fact. And also I'll link it down below. That does also fit in here just barely, even with that mat in there, is the Anker Solix C1000. That's what I have, and it's facing the other way, because then I can have guests who are riding in the back plug in if they'd like to, charge up whatever they need to. I just kind of like how it faces that way. Also, more so, protects any of the plugs that I am using while I'm traveling. So if I'm traveling and I'm using that battery to charge the cameras or whatever, the plugs and all that stuff, if I faced them inwards or I brought this charger out here, they would hang in the way. Now they're this way, and they can hang down, either drop down below the seat or over the seat, and put it on chargers and not get damaged and beat up. Best placement for me, my thoughts. And you tell me what you think. If you think there's a better way, maybe turn it that way, let me know down in the comments. If you're liking this so far, do me a favor, go down and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And also in the comments, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've done something just like this, because this is really cool for Jeeps. Man, does it make a difference with storage just in these 2 or 3 items that I've been talking about. I can fit 2 of these Plano boxes plus my Anker Solix C1000. And you do have to finesse it just a little bit, but it will go in and lock in. They won't move in that pad, but this helps it really from not moving, because I can take this, actually I did it the wrong way, take it down underneath those, push it down, and I can slide it all the way over. Now I can take my battery. The other thing I had an issue with is my buttons would inadvertently get pushed if I didn't have these 2 pads in here. And now if you look, I could set this here, all the way over here. At least one of my AC outlets, my DC cigarette lighter outlet, and my other power delivery and charging outlets sit right there. And then I have this solar generator style connection stuffed in here whenever I need it, because I do have solar panels up underneath here that go on top of my Jeep when it's a bright sunny day like this that I can use to charge up this little battery and that big battery there. Now, that big battery, like I said, I'm not gonna really take it out, but You know what? We'll leave a link down below to show you what it's all about. It's the Anchor Solix C1000. This thing is going to be great for those long weekends where you may need that extra power source. So moving on, I am on number 4. This is the work hauler of the whole system. Because you can see down here, I have a refrigerator. I have more space for a lot more product and other items that I'm going to put in here, plus all my other items that I still have room for on this shelf and on this shelf. So yeah, I am not fully packed, but there's a lot of items that I could show you in here. And that was item number 4. Item number 5. Item number 5 is right up here as well. So you saw 3, you saw 4, and item number 5 is a lifesaver. I'll tell you this, I'm ex-military, I'm also an ex-Boy Scout. I say ex because I'm not a boy anymore, Boy Scouts. All that stuff that I've done, love the roughing it and all that kind of stuff. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I do like some of the nicer things, and this is not anything that's exceptionally nicer. It's just that the fact that it makes it so much better for you. Because this glass, when it pops up, is tilted towards the back. If it rains, the water gets onto this glass, drips down, and covers everything right here. So what am I talking about? Joy Titus rain diverter, rain gutter, rain guard for your Jeep Wrangler. This is a big vinyl piece, and they give you the tape. I've put this on, this guy right here, been holding up, and it has been in a handful of rainstorms. And I'm telling you, not just rainstorms, but raining situations. You're doing the grocery, you're taking care of things. One of the bad things you run into is you tilt the glass up, the rain's coming down, it's pouring down and dripping right down. You got some stuff in there that you want to pull out, and it's just getting soaked and rained on. So nice thing about this is this rain gutter guard right here is exceptional for protecting the tailgate area. You may be over here, got something that's set up, and you want to have no rain because you're in the middle of the campground, so you've got an awning set up or something, and you want to go ahead and just make a quick meal, make some coffee. I know what it's like to be out and be miserable in that rain feeling, and you're just trying to get something done, trying to get a little cooking, trying to get a little something. It's not working because it's just kind of annoying. You have this little protection right here, but still have this rain falling on you. It's no fun. So one of the best things I liked was the fact that it just works so well. The water does pour off to the sides, and it'll pull it down to this channel. 9 times out of 10, I mostly run into limited issues with this, but most of this water will drip down and towards the back and follow this gutter. And what you'll have is a decent little bit of wash of water coming through here, but not in the Jeep, not on your product, not on your stuff, not on anything. One of the great things that I love about getting this for this Jeep was this rain diverter here. That was number 5. Number 6 is back here. The working factor is back here, and everything else is in the front. What is it? It's the Wolfbox rear view mirror camera dash cam system. This is a helpful feature. I've had this glued to my upper shelf, but I also have the magnets. These are all magnets. They're super strong magnets. I've had these for years. I didn't buy these on Amazon. You probably could find your own, but these are phenomenally strong magnets, and they are hard to get off. I've actually dropped some and damaged them. Anyway, I'm using the magnet to hold this in place. The reason why it's here and not outside is I'm using this as my rear view mirror. If I bring this down, as you can see, I can still see through the glass, and it's over the top of my tire. Well, let me show you what I mean by this, and we'll head towards the front in a sec, but I only have this little bit of space above my tire. I'm gonna check behind me. I do have a rear view camera, but I like to look out my rear view mirror and see if I'm stopping too fast and somebody's coming up on me. Can I react? Can I do something? Can I move out of the way? All that kind of stuff. I have that because when my Jeep is completely packed full of stuff and I'm camping, I can't see jack out the back of my window at all. It's like just looking out your rear view mirror, but it's out here. All right, so I have turned on the Jeep. Hold on a second, and you'll see my mirror is starting up now. Look at that. Nothing obstructing my view any way, shape, or form in the rear of my Jeep. I can see at a great wide angle everything and anything that is behind me. And if you look over here to the side, one, you can see that I have another camera right here, probably just barely, but you can also see that it's just sitting on the surface of my mirror. So the fix, if you want to go back to a mirror, is simple. Unplug it, pull it out, and you have your mirror again. But what I also like is you can slide this over, and now I can see directly what's in front of me. So I have a dash cam. And there's the camera that I'm blocking, but you can see everything in front. So now you have a dash cam that covers more than just the dash. It covers the front and the rear. You can see dual view here. And if I go back to the rear, I can move this up or down based on what I'm looking at. And I like to actually just have a tick of the tire so I know where I'm at on here. You can barely see a little bit of that tire there, but everything else I can see behind me. And the great thing about it is it has GPS, sound, all that kind of stuff, 4K front and 1080p rear. But I got a great recording. Even though I'm using this as a rear view mirror, I'm also recording everything that's happening behind me too. So if anything weird happens or whatever, I've got it on video. So that was number 6. Number 7 is also in here. I'm gonna move the camera. We're gonna go to number 7. So number 7 is kind of a fun little mod. It's not really a mod, it's just a thing that I've done and I just think it's kind of cool. And I'm gone a little mobile here so you guys can see what it is. So here we go. Number 7 is these two guys right here. And I've got a little hoodie over my shifter. This is super cool. Is that not the coolest thing ever? And I'm not in the car, so I can't shift, but you can easily pull the button behind you and pull this out of gear. And the dude's sitting in there just chilling. So I got friends hanging out with me while I'm doing my thing. Super cool, not very expensive, pretty nice. I might actually swap these because I don't want this red to get too dirty because I'm constantly shifting out of this. So I might swap these so that my red guy doesn't get used too much. But anyway, that's what I'm doing right here, right now, for just adding a little bit of more flavor and ambiance to the red color that's inside this Jeep anyway. Because it's a Rubicon, it's the red. Number 8 is up here. It's my Bulletpoint mounting gear. This was actually the very first mod that I've ever done. I saw that and I was like, I absolutely got to have these things. Do you have to? No, but I think that it's so helpful because as you can see here, I have my radio in one, in this handheld radio connector. I have the dual mounts for both passenger and driver, which is cool. I'm going to show you why I have the dual mounts. Because I do video stuff, I do camping stuff, I also want to do some overlanding and want to do some recording. I have camera mounts built into there for my action cameras. And lastly, on the Bulletpoint mounting, I have the connector or the holder for my phone. Let me get over there and show you what I'm talking about. All right, so now we're in the Jeep, sitting in the driver's seat. You'll see what I'm talking about. I can take my phone, lock it in, and it'll start charging. Yep, fast wireless charging right there. But also, what I like to do is take my action cameras and set them up in here. So as a prime example, here's one that I will lock in and it's pointing towards me so I can talk to the camera. And the other one you can't see, but it's right behind my phone because I don't need to see it. This one's recording what's on the road. With the Bulletpoint mounting setup, I have the passenger dual, as you can see right there, and the driver's side dual, set up in perfectly routed wiring. I can also adapt this to potentially put a tablet on here, but the issue is that because I have this foldable device, I might actually put this over here, open it up in the fold, and use this over here for my navigation. Now, the nice thing about it is the navigation setup, I have Onyx trails and I also have All Trails on here. So the Onyx, I can actually feed that in through here. In short, I should be able to use the apps, right? Let me check here. There it is. And look, no need to use the phone and no need for a tablet. I've got Onyx right there. And that's it, right? That was number 8. Number 9 is sitting right over my ear next to these guys right here. Starting from 2024 on, there is an airbag system in here. So you can't get the old wraparound like all other Jeeps have, where you wrap it all the way around and then the handle sits right here. Because unless you want to have this piece, no matter how well it's mounted and bolted in, the airbags will expand and tear this thing apart and shoot projectiles at you. And you don't want to do that. What you want to do is get this where it's actually mounted through the top and it comes over the backside. So when the airbag deploys and it shoots down, if anything, it'll shoot this away from you and out. For these handles, just to let you know, they are the Tsukimichi. I wanted to read that to be sure. Tsukimichi, these are Jeep grab handles for 2024 and plus. They are a 4-pack, they are Paracord. I have the red and black. They have a ton of colors. You just need to find the right holes in which these mount on. I would say the one thing I would probably favor more so is if these bolts were black. This one right here goes into that bracket and it holds this right here. But this piece is just bright old silver. What I would love is, yeah, I get it. You can't paint match this to your vehicle, but you can because this is all black, usually black trim. Make this black, just like this guy's black and this guy back here is black. Just make that black. It is what it is. They do work and I can easily paint that myself at a later point in time. But these are really good for the 4. You can see just back behind me, there's one way back there. And if you look over, there's one, well, I don't know if you can see it. You can see it now. And then of course the passenger side. And these are just great little easy handles, but in and out, maybe just, you know, something like me when I'm driving and I got my elbow in the door, I like to hold on to this. So really love this little setup. That was number 9. Number 10 is by Maker, M-A-I-K-E-R. They are upgradable or upgraded JL metal gear shift storage box. So check this out. Right now I have a flashlight, a radio, and this is the passenger side, and also one of those extra arms from my Bulletpoint mounting. I've got all that sitting in there. I can put other items. I got a charging cable in there, and of course other items, and it is metal. You also have the metal trough that will help protect your dash, and you can put other stuff in there instead of that cheap plastic. And I will tell you, I had the cheap plastic stuff and I hated it. For one, it didn't stick and it didn't stay. So this one is hard mounted into your vehicle and it will stay. I have very little in here at this point in time, but what I do plan on doing is getting maybe another radio. I usually put my wallet in here when I'm sitting down, and if I need to, maybe some other type of devices. Great little basket setup. It is metal. It is not plastic, and it is stout. It is strong, and I love how it fits and works perfectly in there. And guys, if you don't know, today it was Veterans Day 2025. I am a veteran, but the cool thing is, and you can see it right up here, is this mod I did to my Jeep. Check this out. This is the mod. It is, and I'm looking at this because I can't pronounce it properly. It is Xiaochun. And it's a Z-X-I-A-O-C-H-U-N. Again, throw a link down there so it's easier to find. Rear window American flag decal, compatible with Jeeps all the way from 2018 to 2025. Granted, there is a lot of sun reflecting off of this, but a beautiful American flag style. I did the wet application version of this and it went on so well, and people give me comments on it. What I love too is if you look, the flags are designed, as long as you put it on the right door, to go and flow the correct way. As you can see here, stars are back, flags flowing this way. Unfortunately, the angle of the sun is not giving it good justice, but there you go. You can see that we do have the flags on both windows, and it gives a good look of the Jeep. Let me step back with the doors closed to give you the full look of how it looks. Check that out. Pretty good looking, I think. All right, guys, so there you have it. Those are my first 10 mods that I did with my Jeep. Not in any specific order and not in any specific price point. I've listed them all below, plus other items that I may have pointed out as we've gone through, just for you to take a look, see if you want to do anything similar. What I really like about the fact is that a lot of this stuff really helps me out related to storage, related to safer driving, and adds character to my Jeep. So guys, if you really thought this was pretty cool and you like this, feel free to reach out, ask some more questions. There's a lot of other items in there that I didn't really touch base on, and that is going to be in another video. If you want me to cover more related to my camping items, I think that's something I should do anyway. What do I load and what do I bring camping? But that'll be in a future video. But with all that, do me a favor, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button and shoot me a comment, ask some questions. I've been pretty decent in answering a lot of questions. I'll try to reach back out, or at least comment and give you my thoughts. So guys, I hope this was helpful for you. I do appreciate your time, and I'm out.